guys, what's going on? It's your old pal CHH back here again. And today guys, we're talking about this movie called Kill Her Goats. What is Kill Her Goats exactly? Well, it seemed like it was this horror movie that got a little bit of notoriety because it was going to feature Kane Hodder as the killer. And that's a big deal for a lot of us because that's our Jason Voorhees. We love Kane Hodder. So this film, before I saw it, I had heard about the reception of it. And for the most part, it was not good at all. As a matter of fact, it wasn't even really middle of the road. It seemingly was just nobody liked this film. So my buddy Kyle sent me this movie, and sure enough, my curiosity got the better of me so much that I had to pop it in the second I got it. So in the past, there have been times where I watched a movie that had a very bad reception, and I didn't see what was so bad about it. Was Kill Her Goats going to be another example of that? Well, absolutely not. Kill Her Goats was absolutely terrible. Let's talk about this movie for just a minute. Why is Kill Her Goats absolutely terrible? Well, let's talk about the plot of Kill Her Goats. There's really not much of anything. They have this weird convoluted intro about something from the 1600s with some guy, and if anything, it really didn't even make sense. You pan to these good-looking women, and that's all you're gonna get in this movie, mind you, is just good-looking broads, and there's nothing wrong with that, mind you. I love me some good-looking babes. Problem is this: they can't even remotely act. And in a lot of horror movies, what we like about TNA, if you will, is they are supposed to fill in the gaps in horror movies when there's no action, kill scenes, or suspense. This movie does that for the entirety of the movie, and really, there's no Kane Hodder in here much at all besides the very opening act and the last part, which is underwhelming to say the least. The women in this film are not exactly Albert Einsteins either. As a matter of fact, there's one part in the film where one of the girls is outside and she's scared about the killer being around, and one of her friends says, "Stay put, wait here for 3 minutes, and if I'm not back, run. Count to 180. If I'm not back, run." What does she do? Stands in the middle of the driveway where she's vulnerable to anything and starts counting. I hate to just be totally cruel to this film because, quite frankly, there are a lot of bad movies that I love, but this one seems so irredeemable. It was just extremely boring, despite the fact that it's good-looking women, and you get a lot of TNA in this. That's awesome, but if I just want that, I'll go to Pornhub. I can guarantee you this: you will not see Kane Hodder signing a lot of autographed pictures for this movie at conventions. You don't really see his face or anything. It's just this guy with a goat head on with a chainsaw. The opening sequence might have shown a little bit of promise, but this is one of those instances where you can really learn that even in 4K, movies can still just not really look that good. Which brings me to the 4K release. The one thing I'll say is I do like the Steelbook. It's got some really cool artwork, and I like all the shades of purple in there, and on the inside, you get some little art cards for the movie, and they, like I said, good-looking women in here, and I think one of them's a playmate, if not all of them were playmates. I'm not sure, but I know that on the front they boast that one of them was a playmate of the year in the film, which, again, awesome. But this film has nothing redeemable about it in my estimation, and honestly, it's as bad as its reputation preceded it. So do I recommend owning Kill Her Goats? I can't say that I do, unless you just like to own every horror movie or stuff with Kane Hodder. You know, the Steelbook is nice, I'll give it that, and the picture quality for Kill Her Goats wasn't exactly bad, but it just goes to show that even in 4K, movies can still look cheap. You can't replicate experience with movie making. Good picture quality does not mean it's shot well. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give Kill Her Goats a half star out of 5. I thought it was that bad. I'm gonna keep this one pretty brief, guys. Can't recommend Kill Her Goats. If anything, I would just say try to stream it for $1 or so if you can, or just don't get in any rush to see it. It's your old pal, good old CHH. We'll see you guys next time. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.